glorious spiritual community, this beautiful spiritual family I get to look at every single Sunday. What a blessing you all are. If you feel like you would like to get up and move your body as we start the day, please feel free to do so. As we start off with our opening song, it's telling us a little bit of truth about us all, right? My eyes are wide and open. My eyes can see. My mind is filled with knowing. My mind believes. I am awake. I am awake. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. My heart is clear and growing. My heart can see. My soul is full of knowing. My soul believes. Freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Oh, yes, good morning once again. Hello, all you beautiful, beautiful humans. Oh, gosh, like I said, it is such a delight and my desire every Sunday, but it is a delight to be able to look out and see such glorious faces. The face of God I see before me. And so thank you so much for being here at Unity of Tucson. As I said before, I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister here. Unity of Tucson is a spiritual community, and our purpose for being here is to awaken ourselves to the understanding of our magnificence. There is a spiritual path that has awakened me to an understanding of the magnificence of all that is. And I have put it to practice practically in my life, and so that's what has brought me to be here, to say, let us all put this into practical use, because if spiritual practice is not practical, then what's the point, right? I was like, let's see if they actually answer. So last week I did something, and I would like to do it again. So we have a beautiful group of people who are online who watch every week and don't necessarily come into the room, but we have people who watch from all over the world. There are people in Sweden and Nigeria and Canada and Cuba and all over the world who watch us every single week. And what I would love for you to do, if you have a smartphone, you rarely hear this in church, right? Get your smartphone out. And if you have a Facebook account or a YouTube connection, or even want to just go onto our website at unitytucson.com, I would love for you to go on and just put something into the chat function at one of those sites where we are streaming live currently, so that we can make a connection with everyone who is present watching with us virtually. And then make sure you turn your cell phone ringers off. I thought that was going to get a bigger laugh. Now, you may not believe everything you hear today, but I do believe that you will hear something that sparks something within you. And I would say, take a look at that. Allow yourself to resonate with that. Like I said, we do have a vision and mission here at Unity of Tucson. And I would love for us to share together the words of our vision statement. Here they are. Let's say this together. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. That is how we choose to see the world. And the mission is how we get to that place where the world is awakened to its magnificence. And let's say the words of our mission statement together. Here they are. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Now, I do sometimes think now, after last week's talk, I should say love only, master understanding, and remember who you are. If you're confused, go back and watch last week's message. If you are joining us for the first time today online, I would love to say thank you for joining us. Welcome. It's such a delight to have you be connected with this spiritual community. We would love to know that you are joining us. If you would go to unitytucson.com/connect, you can fill out some information there, and we will be certain to respond back, and we can start this interaction and have a connection. If you are new in the room here today, if you are comfortable with standing up and letting yourself be identified as someone who's new with us today, we have a gift that we would like to give to you. And so if you are new, please do stand up as Ross brings around some gifts for you. Oh, welcome. Thank you for being here. Hello. Yes. And if you remain standing for just a moment, it's not only this gift that we have, but I want you to know that we have done our research here at this community. We've done our research about you, and we know something about you that we have found out. And we want to share it with you right here and right now. Is everyone ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. You are absolutely magnificent. Thank you for being here and shining your light. Now, we do know that about you because you are a reflection of us. And so I think it's important that we all exclaim for ourselves this truth. Here we go. I am magnificent. How does that feel? Really? Let's do it one more time. All together now. I am magnificent. Yes, indeed. Would you please welcome Susan Smith, who is our keeper of the flames, to the platform today. Here to assist with lighting the flames of faith. The flames of faith, these candles represent the faith traditions, the religious paths, the spiritual ideas across this entire world. And we light a candle each week in honor of the major traditions and also the ones that do go unnamed, to understand that each and every tradition is rooted in pure love. That's what we affirm here, and so let us celebrate that first by lighting a candle for the Tao, which honors the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all faith traditions that go unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be as yet unaware of the power and the presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are each keeping open for them in our own hearts. This final candle we light is the healing candle. The healing candle represents the uncovering of the God essence at the core of all circumstance, at the core of all experience. This uncovering can be done in many ways. One of the ways that it through compassion, through forgiveness, through the practice of understanding. And so this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. The candle here on your left is the peace candle, which represents world peace. We keep it consistently illuminated with the understanding that it signifies the consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts, and as we allow that inner peace to inform our thoughts, our intentions, our deeds, and our actions, our words, we create a more peaceful world right where we are. So let's honor this candle by speaking aloud together the words of the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. harmony is established, and peace begins to reign in the world. Thank you. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Susan is our licensed Unity teacher here at Unity of Tucson. So grateful for you. And she's been teaching our Wednesday night class, the 12 Powers,
Yes.
doing a beautiful job with that.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
It's been fun.
She's here today, though, to talk about and reflect on the homework that I gave last week at the completion of my Sunday message. If you're new to our community, I give homework every week. One of the ways we make this spiritual practice practical. So last week I said, let's look at some area of our life where we would do well to forgive and reframe the story that we've told ourselves around that. Let go of the sense of limitation, remember who we are, deepen into understanding to master that place of understanding, and love only, no matter what. How did you do? What happened for you?
It was a tall order.
Yeah,
It's good. No, it was interesting. I just had one of those weeks, and I'm not sure why. I can be hard on myself, and I just had one of those weeks.
Well, you're the only one.
It's just sometimes it spikes and it happens. And so I really tried to say, what is going on here? What is something that I could really, what would be good for me to forgive and let go of? And really look at this. And I realized that it's that idea, that precept I have in my mind, that I'm lazy. And, my laziness leads up to, I have a pretty strong idea in my mind that I'm lazy. And
Can I just comment on that for a moment?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Because our self-perception is often in contrast to other people's perceptions of us, because you are not somebody I would ever consider to be lazy.
Yes, and I've heard this before, definitely. So it's just how I was raised, and so we'll just dig into what's going on.
Yes.
Here. So I appreciate that, thank you. And it's always nice to have acknowledgement from other people. I think we should do that for one another, so thank you for doing that. So I just kind of came to the idea that this thought of laziness and kind of pervaded, like I should be getting my exercise, and I should be more prepared for things, and I should get more work done. So it kind of was the core. So how can I recreate that story? What is the core? What are the limitations? And the limitations are this idea that I need to do rather than just be, right? That I set these expectations on myself. It's no one outside of me. No one has ever really said, Susan, you're so lazy. I've never really heard that in my life. So it is definitely all internalized conditioning and things. So that is where it comes from. And I know I'm not the only one who experiences this. So that's the limitation. And it doesn't even if I just be. That's what's important. That's what's important. And it just really made me realize there is remembering who I am. We had an affirmation that we used at Unity of Peace weekly, and I'm going to just paraphrase it, and it's based on an affirmation from Charles Fillmore. And so, releasing the things behind, that's that letting go. I realize I am powerful, wise, free spirit. I am the infinite expressing at the point I am. I am the infinite expressing at the point I am. I am peace in the midst of all matters. And we used to say that, and so that helps it, and that's why it's a practice, it's a training, reminding myself of that. That is reminding myself of who I am.
Yeah.
And not only myself, but then giving other people a break, right? And if it's unconditional, it's love only, it's unconditional. So it's not about getting things done on my to-do list. It's not about fitting certain expectations of how I think I should show up and be. It's unconditional is exactly that. And it comes down to the fact, and something I learned once, and it's so powerful, it's like, I'm always doing the best I can. Mm-hmm. And that is true based on whatever the conditions and the conditioning of my life, and that is true for each and every one of us. We are all always doing the best we can. If there's something that we're not doing as well as we'd like to be doing, it's probably based on some conditioning. Somewhere in my head, I got this idea that I was lazy. And so that might stop me in some way from just allowing myself the rest that my body needs.
Yeah.
And accepting that, right?
Well, we also live in a society. Our culture kind of drives us into that mindset.
Exactly.
As well. And we have to be really aware. I don't want to ever say on guard, because that feels like, you have to push it out. No, we just have to deepen into an awareness, because it is in awareness that we get to actually do something about it, right?
Right, yeah, and the awareness is Butterworth always says, that is the opportunity. Because I think when we practice these things, we can kind of beat ourselves up. Oh, I know I'm not lazy. I know that that's a false precept. Mm-hmm. So then you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't be thinking I'm lazy. And then, then you're down a hole. It's like, oh, good heavens to Betsy. Here we go,
Yeah.
So for me, this is just something I really learned a tool. I'm doing the best I can. If I'm feeling like I'm falling short, it's based on the conditions that I'm within and the conditioning that have made me show up as I am right now.
Wonderful.
And that helps me give myself a break and others too.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
sharing
welcome.
that.
Thank
Susan
you
Smith,
all.
everyone. I love hearing about how people put this to work and how they allow themselves to reflect on these concepts every single week because, I always say, coming to Sunday, my desire is that we have fun and that we leave here inspired, but part of the thing is putting it into practice allows us to carry that inspiration throughout our week if we are committed to it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Would you please welcome I'm going to give her a special introduction today because a couple weeks ago, we dedicated into service 7 new prayer chaplains. And each week, we have a prayer chaplain who offers a reading, an affirmation, and a prayer. And here, making her debut appearance in that capacity, please welcome Sandy Solomon.
Thank you. Good morning. It's just so wonderful to see each one of you here, and on such a special day, our day of Mother's Day. And I have to say, I hold it a little differently, because I think Mother's Day is for anyone that expresses unconditional love. And if you're here, you do that all the time. So thank you. This day is for you. And I so appreciate you. So, as Jonathan said, I'm going to get to do a reading, and then an affirmation, and then share a prayer with you. And this month is our month for the power of power. And I want to use that a bit in the reading and then in the affirmation when we work with that. But in the reading, I'm just going to ask you to relax. Just absolutely relax. Just sit there and allow these words to just bathe you. Just come right on in. And this is from The 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. And it's short, so I'm going to read it twice. Okay. The vibration and energy of God's power expresses effortlessly as my life. I have dominion and mastery over myself and align with the divine that I am. Power flows through me with ease and grace. Again, the vibration and energy of God's power expresses effortlessly as my life. I have dominion and mastery over myself and align with the divine that I am. Power flows through me with ease and grace. Amen. And so now we're going to get to work with our affirmation. And I love our affirmations. Reverend Jonathan writes them, and it writes from such a high clarity consciousness. I always look forward to this when I'm sitting out there. And so the first time I'm going to read it to you, and I offer you just to open yourself up, hear it, deeply hear it, if you will. And then we're going to have the opportunity to say it together twice. But I want to point something out, and this is the power of power. That's our power of the month, is power. And Fillmore defined power as our throat. And so what we have the opportunity to do is to take the truth within and say, yes, this is me. This is who I am. And then we bring this forth through our power center and out into the world, and it manifests. So I want us to have a good time with this. So the first time, I have a great time with this. So the first time, I'm going to read it to you. Just relax and listen. That's all you need to do. And then I will cue you, and the words will be up here, and you'll just say them with me. Then we're going to have a little silence. I love silence. And then we get to say it again. And I just want to really offer this with you to say it with feeling. Feel how it feels to work with that power center. All right. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. All right. Now let's say this together with feeling, and the words are up here. Together. Powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Just breathe it in. Together. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am.
Rolling river God, little stones are smooth. Only once the water passes through. So I am a stone, rough and grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand. Sometimes raging wild, sometimes swollen high. Never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you is where I want to stay and feel the sharpest edges washed away.
We are so grateful for that river of life that carries us. And yes, yeah, there's some jagged edges. And maybe one of them might look like the irritation of a relationship. Someone is not showing up the way I would like them to. And you know, in that moment, that is the greatest gift. Because we get to come inside and we get to listen to the divinity that we are. And we get to hear something like, I am unconditional love. I am that sweet, sweet compassion. I am that ever-listening ear. I am all of that and so much more. And so we can bring this forth. We use the power to bring it forth and radiate it out into every relationship. And it blesses us and it blesses them. This is who we are. We are the divine. And so it is. Amen.
But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand. Rolling river God, little stones are smooth only once the water passes through. It was glorious. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Our featured artist today is no stranger to this center, and I am so grateful for what he brings to our community. I reached out to him this week and I asked him, do you have anything that would be a lovely song for Mother's Day? And he immediately wrote back and told me that yes, he had a song that he would love to sing. So please welcome with our featured song today, Alexander Lionheart.
And happy Mother's Day to everyone, and especially to my mom. Come stop your crying, it'll be alright. Just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart, no matter what they say. You'll be here in my heart, always. Why can't they understand the way we feel? They just don't trust what they can't explain. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. And you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Don't listen to them, 'cause what do they know? We need each other to have and to hold. They'll see in time. I know. When destiny calls you, you must be strong. I may not be with you, but you've got to hold on. They'll see in time. I know. We'll show them together, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Believe me, you'll be in my heart. I'll be there from this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart, no matter what they say. You'll be here in my heart, always. Always. I'll be with you. I'll be there for you always. Always and always. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. I'll be there always.
Alexandra Lionheart. There's a lyric that I hadn't really intended to talk about, but I really heard it when you sang it. It's toward the beginning when you talk about, for one so small, you seem so strong. And it touched me in a different way today than perhaps I've ever heard it before, because if we truly deepen into the understanding of who we are, then strength is assured. It is part of who we are. That is an aspect of our being. And sometimes we need to strip away the stuff that we layer on as we grow to remember that strength, to remember who we are. Thank you so much. That was really, really lovely, Alex. I'm deeply grateful to you. I'm going to start with a question today. It is rhetorical, as most of my questions are. And it's not meant that you shouldn't answer it. All I'm saying is that you should consider it and open yourself up to an awareness of what comes up for you when I ask the question. So the question is this: how do you perceive life? How do you perceive life? It's not it's not a little question. It's a big question, right? How do you perceive life? I start with that today because fundamental to this teaching, to the principles of unity and to the new thought path, what we teach is how you perceive is how you become. What you perceive is what you become. How you perceive is how you become. How you perceive is how you show up. So how do you perceive life? Do you see it and understand it and perceive it as fundamentally something that is safe or something else? Because whatever that perception is, that is how your life will show up for you. The circumstances of our experience, that stuff out there, the circumstances of our experience, as I say every single week. I hope we'll all get it someday. The circumstances of our experience are a reflection of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings, and the interplay of those things. That's Unity 101. Everything that shows up in our world is a reflection of that which is within. So this month, as Sandy reminded us, this month our theme is the power of power. Which sounds weird, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like the power of power. Well, what does that mean? Well, I think one of the things is that we should remind ourselves that although the title of the book is the 12 powers of man and women and humanity, I just always say the 12 powers. That is the title of the book. The powers can perhaps be better understood as aspects or abilities that we have. So we have the ability to demonstrate and show up as infinite power because it is fundamentally who we are. That's the truth. We have the ability of power, not through force or coercion, but the capacity to stand firm and resolved in the truth of being. I love that you touched on doing and being today too, because there's more power in being than in doing. The doing is that force. I gotta make it work. Let go of that. Be fundamentally who you are, which is God, that greatness on demand, that divine creative energy that is the core of all creation. That is who you are. And when we understand that, when I opened myself and I said, I'm at a place of choice here around whether or not I accept that concept. And the more I have accepted that concept, the greater my life experience has become. The quality of my life has become enhanced because I know who I am. And so I invite each and every one of you to deepen into the understanding of your truth, the truth of your being. That is standing resolved in the ability of power. But boy, do we have a tendency to look out there. Anyone ever do that? Look out there to find satisfaction? I'm sure none of us in this room. We never look out there for satisfaction. The only place satisfaction can truly be found is here, right within our heart, right within our mind. Emily Cady wrote this in Lessons in Truth. People are ever shifting from one thing to another, always hoping to find rest and satisfaction in some anticipated accomplishment or possession. Does that resonate with anyone? I see people that are getting their phones out. I got to take a picture of that. We are ever shifting from one thing to another to find rest and satisfaction in some anticipated accomplishment or possession. We keep looking out there, thinking we are going to derive our good from that which is out there, that we are going to derive our power from that which is out there. True satisfaction is not derived from anything out there, and our work is to find within the truth we seek. I think that Southern Baptist minister may be making an appearance today. I feel him coming. No hellfire or brimstone, because you are not a sinner. You are pure love. And our work is to find within the truth we seek. That's the truth. You are the perceiver and the perception. Think about that. You are both the perceiver and the perception. You are in control of every aspect of your life. Through what? Through your mind, through consciousness, through your heart, through love. That's the truth. And you are deciding, we are each and every one of us deciding in each moment what is right and good. We're constantly making decisions about what is right and good. So if we continue to shift from one thing to another, looking, oh my God, maybe that'll be it, maybe that'll be it, maybe that'll be it, let that go. Take a breath and remember who you are. Just stop. I know I've talked about it, and I think I've even talked about it up here. That Mad TV sketch with Bob Newhart. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so now I have to explain it. So Bob Newhart plays a therapist or a psychiatrist, as Bob Newhart does. And then I'm starting to think there are going to be young people out here who have no idea who Bob Newhart is. Brilliant, by the way. He was a brilliant man. Anyway, so in his very Bob Newhart way, he has a patient come into his office, and the patient comes up and he says, I just need you to know, I will charge you for $5 for the first 5 minutes and nothing after that. And the patient is going, what? He says, because I guarantee you, I can heal you in that 5 minutes. And she, with disbelief in her eyes, oh, okay. And he says, so tell me about what it is that is troubling you today. And she says, I have this fear of being buried alive in a box. He says, okay, I'm going to tell you 2 words. I don't think you're going to need to write them down, but I'm going to tell you 2 words. Stop it! The sketch goes on for another 5 minutes. It's hilarious. Look it up. It's on YouTube. But we should all stop it sometimes, right? Like it's funny. It's funny because it's true. We should stop it. We need to stop our thoughts when we have them, not go, oh, look at that thought. Oh, no, I'm getting depressed, and I'm getting more depressed, and I'm getting more depressed, and my life sucks. We have to stop it when we recognize it. That's opening ourselves up to the awareness so that we stop putting the trust in the form and allow ourselves to put trust and faith in the beingness that we are. That beingness is tied into the only thing I think that God is, and that is pure love. We talk about God as the creative principle. We talk about God in all of these varied ways. But if we really distill it down, I believe, you get to decide what you believe, but I believe that God is pure love. And what better day to talk about pure love than on Mother's Day? Mother's Day. I have an interesting relationship to Mother's Day, I will tell you. Now, there is someone who is in our community that is my mother. Right? Yes. I did reach out and I said, I just want you to know I'm going to talk a little bit about you today. And she said it was fine. I told her what I was going to say. But what a lot of people don't know is, because we joke, when she comes up here, we joke how you cannot mistake us. We look alike. You cannot mistake us for being mother and son. But most people here don't know the story about our relationship. And that is that I grew up apart from her. That when I was an infant, we were separated. I'm not going to go into the details about what that was or anything. And I grew up apart from her. And I was raised by my father, who was also here. Now, I adopted mother figures in my life. I adopted many mother figures in my life, and one of them was very dominant. And so sometimes I will talk about my mother, and then people get confused because they say, well, my mother passed away in 2014, and they're like, but she's here every Sunday. No. That was my adopted mother. So I have an interesting relationship to mothers. And one of the things that happened when I was growing up, maybe that's what growing up is. I was growing up. When I was growing up, schoolmates have interesting concepts. And when they would find out that I didn't have a mother, I'm like, well, I do have a mother, but that I didn't know my mother. You don't have a mother? They were like, well, don't you miss her? And with all due respect, I didn't miss something that I didn't realize I could miss. I didn't know anything other than the way my life was. And so that confused a lot of people because their concept was, if my mother were taken away from me, I would miss her. But I was so young that I didn't have a construct in my mind for me to miss my mother. Now, often I would hear this, oh, you poor thing. There was sympathy. Sympathy is a challenging thing. It's not always helpful. Unconditional love, compassion, that is helpful. But sympathy is us getting down into the hole of feeling, of like, oh, I can be there and I can sympathize with you. That doesn't actually help heal anyone. That type of phrase is an unconscious, innocent malpractice. It's an unconscious but innocent malpractice. Sympathy is that. What do I mean by that? Malpractice is an erroneous use of thought. That's what we teach in the New Thought movement. The error thoughts that we carry and express in our lives, that's malpractice. We cannot commit malpractice against anyone else, because unless somebody is willing to take it upon themselves, we cannot affect anyone else. So malpractice ultimately has everything to do with us. Erroneous use of thought. It's innocent, so it is not intended to cause harm, right? Nobody is sitting there saying, oh, you poor thing, intending to cause harm. They're looking to, in some way, support you. So malpractice, error use of thought, innocent, not intended to harm, unconscious, below the level of awareness. What is happening below the level of awareness that is innocent malpractice in our lives? It's something to think about. It's something to think about. Do you know how you find out what that is? Look at the construct that flows forth into your expression and experience of life. That will give you the clue. It is perfectly natural to want to protect, right? Oh, you poor thing, I want to protect you. But at what cost does that construct of protection come? Because oftentimes what that does is it establishes fear. The degree to which I have accepted, and I haven't, I'm using it as an example, the degree to which I have accepted fear in my life is the way my life will now unfold. We have nothing to fear at all. People have a hard time hearing that sometimes, but we have nothing to fear when our perception of love is the core of our beingness. Then what have we to fear? It goes along the lines of last week. We have nothing to forgive when we understand who we are. Understanding is the thing that eliminates forgiveness. Understanding is the thing that eliminates fear. Understanding the core of our being is the thing that says, yes, I am the embodiment and expression of love. When our perception is on fear, then the tacit response is we create experiences to be feared, because everything is a reflection of that which is happening within. Now, actually, perhaps a better way to consider it is, there are things that are happening in life. Anyone disagree with that? There are things that are happening in the world. When we reflect upon those things based on our consciousness, we create those things in the image of our consciousness. That is, when we find fear within ourselves, any experience out there becomes something to be feared. Any experience. In bringing the perception to the experience, we have that experience. But it's all starting with our perception. Now, the resolution, and I want to acknowledge the resolution. 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, Lynn reached out to me, my mother, and she said, I want to come to your church service. You went to the concert first, that's right. But you did reach out and said, I want to come to the church service. And so she came that Sunday, and she's been coming back ever since. And we're developing our relationship. Yeah. We are developing our relationship, and what I want you to know, it is never too late to express unconditional love to anyone in your life. The world, right now, it would be very easy for us to fall into the trap of observing the world with a consciousness of fear and seeing everything reflected out there as the result of that fear. Our inner construct of fear supports the creation of the experiences that equal that fear. And the more we do that, the more we normalize that frame of mind. What fear-based ideas might we have incorporated into our experience as normal, and we don't question them anymore? You are the mother to your mind. Nurture the mind. Nurture the mind in the same way that you would nurture a child. We do not need to be relegated to living in fearful desperation. And the antidote to that, the antidote to the poison of fear, is love. Pure love. You can establish something new. Each and every one of us can establish something new, rooted in love, and that is the ultimate power. That is the ultimate power. We can lead with love or we can follow in fear. Which choice are you making today? What if we began to understand the constructs of this world through the lens of love only? And I guarantee you, I know for many of us, that is a very high calling, to be able to look and see what's happening in this world and see it through the eyes of pure love. What I think we would find, and I'm not denying that this can be challenging for people, but what I think we will find is that every act is an act of love, whether we think it is or not. What if we actively seek the God essence at the core of conflict? What comes up for you in that? What is the blind spot that perhaps you put up to that idea? To seek the God essence at the core of conflict, because I'll tell you what comes up immediately for me is I'm having trouble seeing the God essence at the core of the conflict in Ukraine. I'm having trouble. And you know what? That's okay. Anyone else having trouble? It's okay. Keep trying. Keep trying. Do not let the circumstances of the world dictate to you how you are and what you can be in expression in this world. Actively seek the God essence at the core of all expression, whether it is expressed through conflict or resolution. It is all one thing, one light, one life. The expression of pure love, because that's all God is. We utilize that love. Each and every one of us have magnificent choice. We utilize that love in ways that can become challenging and lead to conflict. But we can decide right here, each and every one of us, to let go of that and step into the power of love, the aspect of love, the ability of love, and to love. What if we seek the God essence at the core of conflict and not going into denial about what's happening, but denying the idea that that has any power, because we are the power. We are all capable, each and every one of us is capable of changing the world. We have to open our eyes up to that understanding and live it. Just like a mother's love, we can move through life with pure love that is unconditional. It's tall order. It's a tall order. But I know that we are worthy of living our lives from that point of view. We are worthy of it. And when we find that value within, we experience the expression of that value in our lives. Pure love, being unconditional, means that it is not reliant on the form. The form doesn't need to change for me to understand and change my own mind about the form. But you know what happens when I change my mind about the form? The form changes. It coalesces itself into that which is equal to my mind and my consciousness. And we can collectively in this room set the tone of pure love so resolutely, we could end that conflict right in this moment if we decided collectively. We have the power in this room right here. Do you believe that? Oh, that was very resounding, wasn't it? No shame, but just be aware of where we are. That's it. Open up to an awareness, because it is in awareness that we get to make decisions. So just like the creative essence of love, God itself does not rely on any conditions, because conditions are the construct and the outflow of God. So our work is to see rightly. That is our work. One of my favorite passages from Scripture is this one. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. What does that mean? It means when I see rightly, when I see the world through the lens of love, then everything in my world is a reflection of love. That's what that means. The eye is the lamp of the body. The lamp puts out the light, right? The eye is the lamp of the body. So if our eye is healthy, if it is rooted in love, then the whole body, the entire expression, will be full of light. It is full of love. We are all capable. When we see rightly, conditions change. Katie said, if you turn your thoughts away from the external toward the spiritual, all appearance, and she's talking about appearance here, right? All appearance of evil will drop out of your thoughts and then out of your life. To see differently, turn it around. Turn around our thoughts, turn around our beliefs, turn around our feelings to that which is in alignment with love only, just like a mother's love, pure and unconditional. You have the power to change it all. So consider, as we close this message here today, consider this idea, that instead of viewing the world in this manner, because this will probably resonate, every rose has its thorn. Maybe consider that every thorn has its rose. You are magnificent blessings of light, and I am deeply grateful to each and every one of you. Namaste. So the homework is, of course, to see the world through new eyes this week. To be what? And Mary's going to talk all about it next week. Look at the world through new eyes. Be resolute in your decision to see rightly this week. Whatever that means for you, because here's the other thing. My right does not need to be equal to your right. But if we are all rooted in pure love, then I think what we will find is where we connect. So, be resolute in your decision to see rightly. Start with what you can see differently, because maybe Ukraine's a tall order right now. So start right where you are. See what you can see differently, and expand to what you perceive to be more challenging. Let yourself build up that mental muscle to see rightly. There's a caveat. Do not go into spiritual bypass. Do not deny that conditions exist. The conditions exist, but deny that they have any power over who you are. That's the homework. and invite us all to relax right where we are. Just take a breath and see if there's anything that has resonated with you here this morning. Allowing the self to take that kernel of an idea that vibrates at a high level and let it become the focal point in mind. And just allow an opportunity to sit with that for just a moment in the silence. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself, I find God, I find myself, for they are one and the same. For there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one source of all that is, God. Pure love. Pure love. This pure love is flowing forth into expression as all that is, and so there is nothing separate from pure love, from God. We are that power, we are that light, we are that life, we are pure love, each and every one of us. And rooted in this understanding of our core identity being God, being pure love, I affirm for each and every one of us that there is that within which knows how to allow that pure love to be the point of view from which all that flows forth from each and every one of us into expression and into creation is rooted in that idea. It is with gratitude overflowing that I acknowledge and accept this good. I acknowledge and accept this pure love. I acknowledge and accept the light. And I choose to see rightly at all times. And I know that as I see rightly, what shows up in reflection is right for me. And I trust this as so for each and every one of us. With joy overflowing and gratitude overflowing, I simply let it be as I relax, release, and allow. As I say, and so it is. Amen. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself. Would you please welcome to the stage a member of our board of directors, Ross Boehm. Ross, grateful to have you here today. Ross handles a lot of the maintenance and infrastructure things that happen. Right, Ross?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Susan said something today that reminds me of something that I did many years ago. I worked for a company out of Michigan building apartments here in town, and I was the project manager. One day my boss was in town, and I said to him, you know, I pride myself in being basically lazy. And he looked at me and he said, okay, I give. I said, because I'm going to look for an easier way to do things. And it has nothing to do with what I wanted to say today, but I remembered that. I don't know if any of you saw this. There was an interview of Stephen Colbert with Chef Jose, who started World Kitchens. And he and a group of people go to disasters all over the world and feed people. And they've prepared well over 1 million meals in Ukraine. And he was asked, well, why do you do this? Why did you start doing this? He said, the satisfaction of helping people. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of the things I do here at this church. And one of them is monitoring the roofers, which, by the way, they'll finish up this week, finally. Now that the roofing will be completed, there's another task, and that is the stucco walls. And many of the walls rise up above the roof, and believe it or not, that's where many of the leaks took place, like this one right up here. So we are about to contract with a painter to take care of this. And at present, we don't have enough in our funds to cover that whole expense. So we're looking for everybody to help out with that. And Jonathan will tell you how to give.
Yeah, so there are many ways that you can give. They're on your screen if you're online. Cash, check, you know, the baskets will come around. You can give by credit or debit card. You can text Unity Tucson to 73256 on your smartphone if that's a way that you would like to give. If you are a contributor who gives through the bookstore or have automatic giving and want something to put into the basket as it goes by, you can put this card, which is in a seat back pocket. God, I sound like I'm on a plane. Find this in your seat back pocket and we'll tell you all the ways that you can give. But I am deeply grateful for the ways that you give, and I invite you to take whatever it is you're offering to Unity of Tucson today, hold it in your hand toward your heart, and let's share together our givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. And we'll sing a new giving song, a new old song, as the baskets go around. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart,
a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Deborah Walker will do the blessing of the offering. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. So let's just take a moment where we overflow with the gratitude and the love for the magnificence that is moving through us and the magnificence that we are putting out, not only to our community, but out into the world. I affirm that what we are gathering today is going forth to bring joy, love, light, peace, and lots of wonderful things to this world. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, a couple of things that are happening. We do have a class starting up on Wednesday night, the 25th. It'll be an 8-week course based on the book by Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. You can sign up for that in the bookstore or online. Other things happening. Bears in the chairs. We have our first stuffed animals that have arrived. Yay. So each year, beginning on Mother's Day, it's Mother's Day, and continuing through Christmas in July, at the end of July, we collect stuffed animals in support of children who are in the care of the Department of Child Safety, primarily through Aviva Services. So we would love to have you donate a new unwrapped stuffed animal that we can give to a loving child, and we can love them up here while they enjoy the love and the pure love in this sanctuary. The other way that we support Aviva is we will have tote bag kits. We usually put the bears inside a tote bag, and if you are someone who has some ability with a sewing machine, and you don't have to have a really exquisite ability with a sewing machine. It's all straight stitches. I can do it. We will have kits that you can take home and actually create the tote bags for the children as well. We would love to have you take those away. So check those out. They will be here for next week. The Unitix Happy Hour this week, Friday at 5 p.m. They're meeting at Zena's Mediterranean Restaurant. Love it there at 1138 North Belvedere. If you'd like to know more about that or sign up, you can see Molly, who will be in the foyer at the end of service. Hi, Molly. Actually, you'll probably be in Harmony Hall, won't you? Because we're going to have our shared meal today. You can seek Molly out. And if you don't know who Molly is, ask anyone. They will tell you who Molly is. Molly is our social coordinator through the Unitix. Also has put together Unitix opera outings Saturdays at 10 a.m. You can find the schedule for that on the table out in the foyer. And if you have any questions or needs or comments, you can talk to Molly about that as well. I would like to bring to the stage Anita Summers, who is going to talk to us a little bit about our shared meal today. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
How are you?
I have butterflies. I realize this is the first time I have been up, like, speaking personally, individually, like, not up here singing as a group. Hi. Okay. Hi. I'm the head of hospitality, and Unitix and Hospitality, we're putting on this Mother's Day brunch today. So, taking into account that there are a number of us who have serious food sensitivities, in the spirit of trying to keep the most number of people safe and sufficiently fed, we're going to try an experiment today. There are separate table areas set up for known allergy-free food versus known allergenic food, and potentially allergenic food, meaning we're not exactly sure what's in it. So that's at a separate table. So to keep cross-contamination at a minimum, there's different colored sets of plates at each set of tables. And we request that you only use the plates for that table at that table. So we have a very sturdy bottom plate and a somewhat flimsy but colorful upper plate. You can reuse your bottom plate, but please take a fresh plate at each table that you go to. Got that? So yellow is gluten, there's signs at the table. So yellow is for the gluten-free food allergy, and pink is for the gluten whatever, okay? So, and I just got out of my notes somehow, sorry about that. Okay, we also request that those of you who can eat everything, please be conscious of how much you're taking of the allergy-free food so that our sensitive members and guests have enough choices in food for themselves. And as much as possible, we've labeled each dish so people can easily identify what allergies are or aren't in them. And it will be helpful if the labels could be kept with the dishes. So if you haven't talked to someone yet about what you brought, I will be back there. We've got hospitality staff back there. You can talk to us and we'll tell you where to put your food. And if you accidentally walked off with the gold slick marker for labeling on the tiles, please return it.
Thank you, Anita. Always grateful to have these shared meals and grateful for everyone's willingness to participate in a way that is safe for everyone. So thank you for that. Our youth are coming in through the door. Hello, Chris Paxton, our Manager of Youth and Family Services. Just want to let you know we are always looking for people to volunteer and support our youth programming. And if you are interested in that, you can email yfm@unitytucson.com and sign up for that. If you have a story to read, if you have a craft that you would like to bring to the children, you don't have to be there every week, but if you had one thing that you would like to do with the kids, we'd love to have you there. And as they come up, Chris, do you want to let us know what you did today? What did you, come on over here. Come on over here. Show me what you did today.
I was making stuff with this.
You made that for whom?
I made it for my mom.
You made it for your mom? Well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that.
Invisible? God's love is invisible, powerful. God's love is invisible but powerful.
Yes, God's love is invisible but powerful. So that was the lesson today. Thank you so much, Chris Paxton, for leading our youth so beautifully. I do want to let you know, too, that our prayer chaplains in service today, of course, are Sandy Solomon and Deborah Walker, both of whom you saw up here. They will be available in the sanctuary following the service today to offer a moment of prayer if that is something that you would like. Now, I would like to see if you will indulge me because I have a gift I would like to offer to the mothers. It's the gift I give every year on the Mother's Day service. And I'm just going to give it. What do you give to the lady who has given all her life and love to you? What do you give to the reason you are living? I could window shop the world before I'm through. Mama, a rainbow, mama, a sunrise, mama, the moon to wear. That's not good enough, no, not good enough, not for mama. Mama, a palace, diamonds like doorknobs, mountains of gold to spare. That's not rich enough, no, not rich enough, not for mama. Mama, a lifetime crowded with laughter. That's not long enough, not half long enough. What can I give you that I can give you? What will your present be? Mama, young and beautiful, always young and beautiful. That's the mama I'll always see. That's for mama, with love from me. Happy Mother's Day. And let's just offer great gratitude to everybody who made today's excellent celebration possible. I'm going to go through these very quickly. We'll clap at the end. I want to say thank you to our entire tech team, Don and Jim and Rowan. I want to say thank you to Sandy and to Deborah, our prayer chaplains, and to Susan, our keeper of the flames, and to Ross for your participation today. Of course, giving great gratitude to this incredible band. I'm doing this quickly because we're way over time today. And I want to say thank you to Alexandra Lionheart, our special featured artist today. Thank you so much for sharing with us. As we complete our time here together, let us share together this prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Feel free to stand as we close today. On earth, for it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. I'm grateful there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.